So, you want to move your dinos, base, and friends from your current arc to the new Aberration map. Fantastic! I'm going to show you the quickest and easiest way to do exactly that. Alternatively, you may have already transmitted yourself onto Aberration and now you're running around helplessly, regretting your life choices. And you want to know the quickest way off this crazy arc. Stick around because I'll show you how to do that too. First off, before you jump over to the Aberration, you need to know once you're there, getting out of it is going to be very, very difficult. There are no supply beacons in the underground, and all of the obelisks are on the surface. The surface is very difficult to get to and incredibly inhospitable, so you need to know how to survive there, even for just a few minutes. Before transmitting to Aberration, build yourself a tech transmitter. Are you not tech level yet? Come back when you are, unless you're here to learn how to escape Aberration, because without the transmitter, you have almost zero chance of getting your dinos and base equipment in time. Tech transmitters do not require element to run. You should also make sure your stats are at least this much. Any lower and you won't survive the surface. 200 health, 200 stamina, and at least 140% run speed if not higher. Now, build the transmitter and make your way to an obelisk on whatever map you're currently on. The only object you should send to Aberration is the transmitter, nothing else. You won't have time to grab it. Now, go ahead and transmit yourself and the transmitter to Aberration and select Fertile Lake 3 as your spawn point. We have 24 hours to get to your transmitter before it disappears forever, so start punching trees. As quickly as possible, make your way to 27 lat, 63 long. With a blank map and no GPS, you probably don't know where that is. Follow along and I'll show you how to get there. When you spawn, check your surroundings. You should see a large metal building hovering over the lake. Move down to the lake and follow it to the left. You're going to want to avoid conflict in the early stages of this map. You won't survive. Another thing worth noting is Aberration is hot. You will lose water very quickly. Drink a lot. Follow the lake until you reach the beginning of a river. That river should be directly across from the metal building we saw before. Once you reach the river, just follow it. Continue following the river down until it opens up into a larger river. It'll be marked by a very large metal structure. Continue to follow that river to the left. Looking ahead, you'll see a charge node on the cliff. Continue down that pathway. Continue ahead towards the yellow glowing crystals above you. You'll see a small patch of mushroom forest off to your left. Continue past that. Looking straight ahead, you can see the entrance to the cave that leads to the surface. This is where we'll be building a small base. Once you reach the area near 27 lat, 63 long, you'll see a pink gas vent. Look up and you will see a hole in the wall. That hole leads to the surface. This area is relatively peaceful, save for the occasional raptor or reaver. It's also not a bad base location, and it has one of the very few metal nodes found in this part of the underground. Build a small base, get a forge, and get a smithy going, and put down a bed or two. Then, start collecting metal and green gems. Green gems are often dropped during earthquakes. Do not pick any up if a naked roll rat is nearby, or it will attack you. To get to the surface, you're going to need climbing picks. That's what the metal and gems are for. For the picks, you need 4 green gems, 8 ingots, some wood, and some fiber. Build at least 3 picks, probably more just in case. A parachute may not be a bad idea either. Wait until nightfall or the surface will cook you. Quite literally, if you go onto the surface in the daylight, you will be immolated immediately. Even at night, it's going to get very cold. Hide armor is recommended, but you need at least a full set of cloth armor or you'll freeze quickly. It's now the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to go get your transmitter so you can get all of your stuff from your previous arc onto Aberration. Get ready. Climb that first wall in the hole that leads to the surface. Run up the passageway and make a right as soon as you see it. Looking up, you'll see the sky and the surface. Check your surroundings. If anything looks like it's on fire outside, or if your character is overheating, come back later. It's not late enough yet, and the world on the surface is still too hot. You will burn if you go outside. Now, make a mad dash for that purple obelisk. Do not sprint unless something is immediately behind you. Use rocks and walls to slow them down and get some distance between you and them. There will be Reaper Kings, Seekers, and Nameless popping up out of the ground like zombies. Keep running. Get ahead of them. Don't stop for anything. Head towards the purple obelisk, following the only pathway on the surface. Stick close to one of the walls. Your first landmark will be a fork in the road. Go right. If you see a green charge node in front of you, you've gone the right way. Continue running, and directly ahead should be the obelisk. Stay aware of your surroundings. Check around you occasionally to make sure nothing is getting too close to you. If anything is too close to you as you approach the obelisk, make a wide loop and try to get them hung up on some rocks. Put a little bit of distance in between you and they'll usually lose interest very quickly. Get to the obelisk. Now, teleport off Aberration to safety, or grab your transmitter and keep running. Loop around behind the beacon and back to the front of it. Then, follow your original path back to the cave entrance. Once behind the obelisk, hang a right immediately. Keep running forward along the jagged rocks. Keep as many rocks between you and chasers as possible. Your first landmark should be a charge node. Keep going right. At this point, you'll probably be freezing and losing health somewhat quickly. Remember, do not sprint unless you absolutely have to if something is behind you. If you have at least 200 health, you should be a little above half health right now. Don't panic, you're doing fine. Once you've looped around, you will see the obelisk on your right. Hang an immediate left back towards the green charge node from earlier. Continue to follow that pathway. Towards the end of that path, look up and look around. You'll see a large metal structure. That metal structure marks the entrance to the cave that goes back to the underground. Once again, keep as many rocks between you and your chasers as possible. This will prevent them from following you into the cave that leads back to the underground. When you reach the ledge, you can jump and use your parachute, or you can climb your way back down using your picks. Escape the passageway, and get back to your base. That's it! Congratulations, you now have your transmitter. Place it down on your base, teleport back to whatever map you were on before, and you can freely upload your dinos and equipment. Teleport back to Aberration, and they'll be there waiting for you to download. If you're on the official servers, at the time of making this video, you still have to wait a couple weeks before Wildcard will let you transmit objects and dinos, but for private servers, you can do this right away. If you're looking for a private server to join, check out our Ragnarok and Aberration servers, links in the description below. We're always happy to have new survivors join us. We host weekly tournaments and events where you can win rare loot, skins, and even Steam gift cards. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the Ark.